Let's move on. Next up, we have Through Patches of Violet from the Limbus Company soundtrack by Millie. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider becoming one of the members, paid subscription thing to support the channel even further. No obligation, but really cool if you do. And, of course, 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this will be paused a lot. I will be pausing a lot as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. And number 2, this is recorded live on stream on a single take. So I might stumble upon my words, etc., etc. So there you go. With that said, let's do this. Let's do this. Through Patches of Violet. Let's go. Okay, so we start with a very, very lovely... It sounds like it's either a violin in the lower register or even a viola, and the vocalist. We were doing a song, so this is a verse. We have a couple of motifs going on there. It might still be the first motif. We'll need to hear a little bit more of that. But most importantly, I wanted to bring to your attention the only quantum instrument in existence. This instrument, no, not that. I was thinking violins, and then my brain went the other way. This instrument and this instrument are the same physical instrument. And when it comes to music, physically speaking, these are the same instrument, and you can only know which one it is until after it's done playing, until after you hear it playing. Physically, they're the same instrument. Between a violin and a fiddle are the same instrument. They're both the exact same instrument, it's just the way they're played. And it's the only instrument that changes what it is depending on how they're played. You always wonder if they're the same or not. Yeah, no. The only difference is how they're played. The rest is the exact same. To the point, like back in the day when it came to the classical period, calling somebody a fiddle player was a derogatory term. Like, it was downright a slur. Like, a composer that many of you might have heard of, Ludwig van Beethoven, we had... He's considered the greatest composer of all time, which when it comes to flat, like straight craftsmanship, he is. But he was a very bitter man. He was angry. He was bitter. He was just horrible. He was kicked out of every single bar and pub he ever went to. One time he was contacted, he got a letter from a violin player that he was writing a violin concerto for. A violin concerto is a piece of music, is a composition that you make for a specific instrument to play a lot of solos in. So the violin player told him, hey, there's this one passage over here, it's a little too difficult, like some of these things are borderline impossible, could you change this a little bit? And this was one of the top violin players in all of Europe, which back in the day meant in the whole world, who was going to play this piece by Beethoven. And he was telling him, hey dude, can we just change this a little bit? It's a little too difficult even for me. Beethoven's response was, and I'm paraphrasing here, maybe you should go back to a pub and play your fiddle, and I will go find someone competent enough to play my piece. That's just the level of bitter and just angry that Beethoven was. He was the biggest incel in all of music. He had one last bit of lore from him, and we continue, right? He never had a girlfriend. He never married. And the one woman he was sweet to, that she was kind of falling in love with him, they found correspondence with her and her best friend when she said, and I'm paraphrasing again, I like Ludwig. He's sweet to me. He's great. We get along really well. He's rich. He would take care of me. But I can't be with him because he's just so hideously ugly. And this is when Beethoven was getting statues made of him. So, yeah. There you go. Anyway, let's continue here. Let's see where this goes. So yeah, we also have the verse. So this is a song, by the way. This is not a track. This is not a piece. This is a song because we're having a focus on lyrics. Let's see where this goes.
Brighter future, here I am at the gate I stand. Dear old times I've made.
So on top of that, we also have. It sounds like we might have a string quartet behind us doing us a little bit of a beat. That bum 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 bum. By the way, a string quartet is composed of 2 violins, 1 viola, and 1 cello. That's a string quartet. They're very lovely. It's one of the most common smaller scale ensembles that there are, just because of how much flexibility they have in their composition. So let's see. So yes, we do have that vocal motif. The motif, of course, once again, being the smallest version of our musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. Empress, welcome today. How you doing? And we are having that one in the vocals, and it was also being highlighted a little bit in the violins. We do have a little bit of panning here. Let me just hear which ones we got. So yeah, it seems that we do have some panning going on. When it comes to panning, the concept of panning is giving priority to one of the 2 ears when it comes to stereo speakers. Nowadays, stereo is the standard for speakers. We have the left ear, we have the right ear, then you have the listener in the middle. Look at you all there, happy, deformed, and bald, therefore evil. When it comes to panning, it's the priority that one ear gets over the other, and that's achieved by raising or lowering the volume. So 100% volume on both ears makes it sound like you're listening from the front. The more you lower one ear, the more it's going to sound like it's coming from the other ear. And right now we're having 1 violin. It sounds like we have the setup of our string quartet. We have left ear, we have right ear, and it sounds like we have maybe violin 1 over here and violin 2 over here, because this is not active. This is call and response between 2 violins that are 1 each in each ear, and then we might have maybe the viola over here and maybe the cello over here, and the cello might just be dead center, that kind of stuff. So there you go. That's okay, Empress. That's okay. You prioritize your sleep. So let's see where this goes. And we added a call and response in the vocals with, I don't know if, it might be the same vocalist doing several, because, it's high range, low range, high range, low range, which is always a very good way of emphasizing different characters. A notorious piece that does that kind of thing is Erlkönig by Schubert. Very, very, very cool story being told there. And most of it is, like, the different characters are in different ends of the scale. That kind of thing. So we're having one being higher, one being lower, giving call and response. One calls, the other one responds. That kind of thing, bouncing back and forth. Let's see where it goes. We have a bass as well. We also have a bass doing panning between the 2 ears, so it still could have been 1 violin instead of 2 doing active panning, which means just going stone. So yeah, let's see. Round and round we go, holding on to pain, driven by our ego. So yeah, now it turns out it is 2 vocals, or at least 2 vocal lines now they're doing together. We went to another section of this piece. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What else can I say, man? This is just beautiful. The way that it's just, the melodies are interacting, the way that they are harmonized. It's similar motion, which just means that the melodies are not playing the exact same melody in different points of the scale, but they're doing roughly the same thing. And yeah, we're having a very nice accompaniment with the strings over here, which could be a string quartet. It could just be a single violin. I'm still not entirely sure. And yeah, it's just very lovely, dude. I really need to check out Limbus Company. And still with and we introduce a drum. What sounds like a kick drum kind of sounds like a muffled timpani to me, but it could just be a kick drum, like just the way it's being mixed in the audio. But now we are getting a proper sense of a downbeat. Downbeat is just the start of each measure, the compass of music. So let's see where this goes. With the bass. Look at that. It's amazing how much you can change. So we've gone back to the roughly structure of what we had with the verse, but now all we did was add a drum beat that was slightly faster than what the violins were doing, and now we're in a completely different paradigm. It's amazing how much changes with just changing the drum beat around. I'm gonna have to show you all after this one. I'm gonna show you all the Dream Theater one, because yeah, it's amazing how much can change just with the drum beat. Well, let's see. So yeah, structurally, we did the same thing as we did at the start, except this time we had two vocalists doing instead of one. We had the drum beat going on, and we had that bass line, really cool bass line bouncing between the ears kind of thing. But overall, same musical idea. We just added more layers to it, which is a very, very good way of developing material. Of course, the drums just stopped, which gave us my colloquial term of going off the ramp, which is a way of transitioning things. You will make the listener feel like they're up in the air kind of thing. You just remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, and then let's see how they land this. Let's see how we land this.
The message has already been said through pages of
I love this. So we're doing two things over here. We're doing a staccato line and a legato line. So when it comes to staccato is what the voices and one of the violins are doing. Very short bursts, quickly, and in and out. Ba, 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 ba. It's syncopated too. Syncopation is that you're playing against the established beat, which we had an established beat with the drums, and playing against that, like in between the beats kind of thing. So we have that going on, and at the same time, we're having a legato line with the other violin, the one that is just going up and just playing the full notes, letting them go through all the way through. That is the difference between staccato and legato. Staccato is short bursts, legato is just playing the entirety of the duration of the notes. Let's see where this goes, because this is really good. All right. Oh my god. Okay, so we are making this violin just go absolutely crazy with these lines. Like, it's such a beautiful way of tying everything together, having that common thread. And we are going from harmonized parallel motion to similar motion to call and response. This is such a well-made thing. And I was giving some context earlier that during the game, only one of the lines might be playing at the same time, because something that happens in games, by the way, in sound engines, is that you can set up the sound engine to say, like, okay, here is the violin track and it's playing through this whole thing. We have the voice line number 1, which is playing throughout the duration. We have voice line number 2, which is playing through the duration, that kind of thing. And you can set parameters in video games that if something happens remove violin 1 and let the other ones continue playing. If something happens, remove voice number 1, let the rest continue. That kind of thing. You can program these things in audio engines nowadays in video games. One of the audio engines that makes it... Like, there are two that I know of. I know one of them is not as popular anymore. There's Fmod, and then there is Wise. And yes, written with 2 W's. Jazz, thank you for the follow. How you doing? Welcome to today. Thank you, I appreciate it. So yes, Fmod and Wise, those are 2 audio engines. I know that there are games nowadays, the game engines that have these built in, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, there's a reason why some companies choose to have engines such as Wise. I know that Wise is one of the better ones. Fmod is just a little bit cheaper to use. And they have functions like this one. You can go very into detail on what you do with the game engine and with the audio engine, and you can even separate the tracks individually in the game to have the game become more dynamic, right? Like that. It's insane how that can happen. It's insane how just far in we are in technologies. The finale combines to create a full track, which is the one we're listening to. There you go. So it is layered like that. So yeah, you progressively add more, which is another way of using these audio engines. When X happens, add an extra layer. When Y happens, add an extra layer, that kind of thing. Let's see where this goes. Oh. And here comes a fretless bass. Oh boy, no wonder why this is just insanely good. So when it comes to bass guitars, usually a bass guitar, just like any regular guitar, is going to have... I don't want products, I want images. You're going to have this guy right here. You will have the frets. And this is all fine and good, but then you can have a fretless bass guitar, which look a little bit more like this. Usually it is a very, very talented musician that will be able to play a fretless guitar. You can't wait. There is no way until I show it on the screen, and Yar, no, we haven't. And usually whenever you hear a bass, a fretless bass, for example, a composer that uses a fretless bass for his music as well in video games is Ultrakill. Hakita uses a fretless bass. It has a very peculiar sound, and if you hear this, and it's somebody who knows how to play a fretless bass, it's someone who knows music all the way through. This is what we're getting right now. Just a couple of notes of that was more than enough for me to identify it's a fretless bass. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Oh, so cool. So yeah, we also kind of hit a reset button with this whole thing. We just started again with the first layer being the bass, and now we are doing a complete contrast to what we were doing before, which at first it was full singing the entirety, like all the time, singing all the way through. There was barely any moments where there was no singing, to now the vocalists are doing basically the accompaniment to the bass. We switched the roles around that way. It's really cool. I love it. The call and response is just them saying the same thing over and over to each other. This is awesome. Oh. We've also changed the drum kit. We went from a slightly more electronic drum kit to a proper, like, acoustic analog drum kit. Make this sound a little bit more like rock than it did before, that it was but slightly more on the electronic side. Really cool way of establishing contrast. And once again off the ramp we go. We take away the drums, and back we go to this like it's a trio basically, because we have the 2 voices and the violin. Oh no, we also have the other strings in. There's the bass and the drum. Yeah, this is kind of a recapitulation of some of the stuff we did a little bit earlier. So there's that to keep in mind. Musically speaking, we are kind of doing the same thing. We are using different lyrics, and we are just repeating. We're bringing back, especially because climax of the track probably already happened, might still happen. We are recapitulating, bringing back ideas that we already did, re-explore them again, adding maybe another couple of layers, or in this case, using different lyrics. Let's see where that goes. Back to the electronic drum kit. And once again, like it's so well made, really beautiful cadence, very beautiful the way that these just the words, you can tell that this wasn't just some lyrics that were written and then somebody put music onto this, but this whole thing was just composed as a whole. Like, this was very masterfully made, and you can tell, because this is also how I make lyrics, because I really suck at making lyrics. So I understand this thought process of, because I'm bad at this, I want to put extra effort to make sure I get it right. And in this case, what has happened is that the number of syllables, the cadence of each individual word, even the vowels of each individual word that has been used, has been intentionally crafted to fit what is going on musically. Because that is something that many, especially singer-songwriters, suffer from. They make lyrics, and they make these beautiful poems, and then they have to try and put them into music. And you end up with moments of just cramming lyrics into a space that they don't fit in, right? Like, you're having, like, let's say we do let's figure out. What could I say? Let me just write something quickly, right? Like, I have an idea. The idea is cool. I like the idea very much so. And if I try to sing this, and my idea for the lyrics is like, I have an idea. The idea is very cool. The idea is cool. I like this idea very much. So you will have moments like that. Like, of course, this was just completely improvised at this very moment, but you will most likely recall songs where you've heard that the lyrics, yeah, they're fun lyrics, but there are points where they don't quite fit. Where they don't quite fit the musical idea because they were not composed together. And in this case, you can tell that they were composed together. French fries, welcome to the day, how you doing? They were composed together, and you can tell that each individual word. And one of the ways you can tell that the lyrics are done this way is very little reuse of lyrics. That's how you can tell that somebody has a bit more mastery of the craft when it comes to this kind of thing. And this has been just very, like, this has been, for how small this ensemble is, this has been insanely tight. Let's see.
Message has already been said, so patches of violet.
And there we go. Ha! And we finish with a literal ta-ta with the with the violin. So yeah, we let the vocalists do one last line, kind of reflecting, kind of recalling, echoing the intro the way we had it, but now we have two vocalists instead of one. The violin does one last cadence, which maybe it falls under the umbrella of a cadenza? No, cadenzas are longer than that. Cadenza, by the way, it is Italian for cadence, but back in the day of Italian of concertos, of music concertos for like of violins or something like that, a cadenza would be an extended cadence of just giving an insane solo to the instrumentalist and taking it from there. So yeah, and there you go. That's how we ended. We ended with this beautiful cadence, this beautiful just end, and there you go. And there you have it. That was Through Patches of Violet from the Limbus Company soundtrack by Millie. That was very lovely, man. That was very, very lovely. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd LFA Layman-Friendly analysis. If you're watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notification settings. Consider becoming a member. One of them paid subscription. Support the channel even further with that. No obligation at all. And if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it in the description. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord, go to the LFA requests channel, and follow the instructions pinned in the pinned comments. And if you want to listen, and if you want to catch the streams live, make sure to check the Twitch channel or the Discord server. They both have the stream schedule on your local time zone, so that you can just join us with that. And with that being said, there you go. That was Through Patches of Violet. Very lovely. Very, very lovely. But